So the reason why I have the option for 2 head, right, which is this 1 head can occur and maybe no head at all. So what is the probability distribution of 2 head? So out of 4, we notice that just 1 have 1 head out of 4. So that is 1 out of 4. How about 2 heads? Sorry, that's 1 head. 1 head is just 1 out of 4. Those that have 2 heads, that's 2 head. That's 1 head. So this is 1, 2. 2 people have 1 head out of 4. So we have 2 out of 4. Then no head at all is also 1 out of 4. So if you add up this, since you're looking for the expected value, which we're going to kind of figure out what the expected value is. But if you sum up this here to know that you're very, very correct, you'll get 1. So the expected value now, you know that it is going to be the summation of x multiplied by the probability distribution, and this is going to be 2 multiplied by 1 on 4, and then you are adding that to 1 multiplied by 2 on 4, and you're going to be having also 0 multiplied by 1 on 4. So if you do this will give you 2 on 4, which is also 1 over 2, plus this will give you 2 over 4, and the last one will give you 0. So if you had this, 2 over 4 is also 1 over 2. So that's like half plus half. That's 1 plus 0. And I think half plus half is going to be 1. So expected value is also giving us 1 in this case. So that makes some sense. Now we can get straight down to business. And that will be this question here. So, and the question is a bit different from the previous one, and then it said this is discrete random variable. Take note of that. DRV, discrete random variable. X can assume 5 possible values. So 5 possible values, that is the first value, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5 possible values there. So it can assume 5 possible value. Its probability distribution is shown below. Okay, so this is the probability distribution. If you check this very well, you'll notice one number is missing here. You definitely want to find the one number missing there, because since it's a dash, but since it's a dash, you know that if I add up all of this, right, the summation of this probability distribution here, it must give me 1. So it's easy to figure out the number that is there. You can pause the video and try to find out the number that is there. So the expected value is going to be the expected value equal to 1. And to figure out the expected value, we know that the expected value is calculated with the variable 0.15 plus 0.10 plus 0.25, then plus 0.25, then plus the missing number, which I'm just going to call y. Okay, there we go. So that's y. So if you do that, we know that the expected that's not expected, guys. That is summation of the probability distribution. Okay, you will make mistake there. Summation of the probability distribution. So summation of the probability distribution. So you know that the summation of the probability distribution is going to be 1. And if you take this into account, that will give you 0.15 plus 0.10. Okay, I'll fetch my calculator straight away, and then we can pull off that 0.15 plus if I do all of that, I'll come up with 0.75. So, and then that will be plus y. So in this case, you're looking for y, so it's going to be 1 minus 0.75 to produce y. So, and if you do that, you will get 0.25 for the value of y. So, and then here the value there will be 0.25 there. So in that way, we can now go ahead and solve the second question, which is right there. And what the question is asking us to find is the probability of x less than or equal to 8. So you want to be careful with this one. So to solve this very well, I'm going to try to move this out of the way a little bit. Alright, so to solve this out of the way, what we're going to do is to understand what the question is asking us to do here. We have to find the probability of x less than 8. We're looking for the number that are less than or equal to 8. So the numbers that are less than or equal to 8. What is the probability that if I select a number, right, I'm looking for the probability distribution of a number less than 8, of picking a number that is less than 8. So the numbers that are less than 8 is either this number is 8, since it said less than or equal to 8, right? It's either this number is 8, it's either this number is 8 because of the equal to sign, so 8 is also part of it. It's either this number is 8 or 5 or 3 or 2. It's either this number is what? 8 or 5 or 3 or 2. Now, or in probability definitely means addition. And now if you see this word and, that definitely means multiplication. So these are two variants that you want to understand, or addition, and then and is multiplication. You just don't want to mess that up. So in that way, the probability of x less than or equal to 8 will be equal to either the probability of x equal to 8, right, or the probability of x equal to 5, or the probability of x equal to 3, or this number could be 2. And then if I do this, you know that is addition. So that will be probability of x equal to 8 is 0.25, right? Or, which is addition, if it is 5, it's also 0.25. Or if it is 3, it's also 0.10. And if it is 2, is 0.15. So we can go ahead and add to get the answer for this. That will be 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.10 plus 0.15, and that will give you 0.75 as the answer to that question. And that is that on that question. In this part of the video, we talk about we also look at the properties of expected values. So expected values have some properties which you can see. I've tried to state them all out here, right? And one of them is the first one here, which you can see here. And here, in this case, take note that t is constant. Now take note that t is constant, okay? T is constant, okay? It's a constant value. Constant values like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you know that expected value carry out operations, right? It carries out operation, right? That what I'm saying is that you know that expected value equal to x, right, multiplied by probability distribution, and of course I'm going to be taking the sum